Ladies and gentlemen, London is calling. The UFC Welterweight Championships on the line. The card is full of English, UK, homegrown talent, lads. If you're an English MMA fan like me, I don't know if you can tell, lads, I actually live in England, which is crazy to think about because you wouldn't think it. That is why you subscribe, boys and girls, jokes like that. But the card, beautiful. But I mean, you might not think it pay-per-view standard, it's not stacked for the brink with names, but a homecoming for a lot of these fights. It's like Australia had about a month ago. Got a bunch of English talent looking to make their names on a pay-per-view. It just doesn't feel like a London card without Darren. I know he's been released now. No Tommy Aspinall, no Paddy, no Molly, none of them. But we've got Leon, we got Jack Shaw, we got Makayev. He wasn't gonna miss out, was he? Lerone Murphy's back. Jake Hadley's here. Jai Herbert, Jojo. Lads, gonna be a great card, let's break it down. Jai Herbert versus Ludwig Klein. Both men's last fight was at UFC London. Ludwig Klein defeating Mason Jones and Jai Herbert defeating Kyle Nelson. If we look at the height and reach, Ludwig Klein's actually a favourite in this fight, which, I mean, I'm not surprised by. He had a better run in the UFC than Jai Herbert, but it's really changed now. We've got even a minus 200 here. Jai Herbert. Jai. You know, I think he gets done. I think Jai Herbert's criminally underrated. I think he's just too big. Look at Jai Herbert in pictures next to Leon Edwards. He's pretty much the same size as him. Like, Jai Herbert's huge for 155, and Ludwig Klein is coming up from 45. And he has power in his hands. I think this is going to be a stand-up fight, and I can see Jai Herbert getting the win. Jojo's back with matchup against Luana Carolina. As long as she don't get submitted, I think she wins the fight. Carolina only has one submission, but you never know, you never know. She is coming off that highlight for a loss to Molly McCann, and Jojo, of course, is coming off a loss to the current champion, Alexa Grasso. Lerone Murphy was supposed to be fighting Nathaniel Wood, but Nathaniel injured himself going for a takedown, so hopefully, I'd still love to see that fight match together in the future. But Lerone Murphy, you don't see him fight too often, but when he does, it's a banger. Him and Amir Khani, the knee timed it perfectly when Amir Khani was shooting for a takedown. Amir Khani is also on this card. He's taking on Jack Shaw in the featherweight debut. We'll get onto that later. But he's taking on Gabriel Santos. He's here on like a week's notice. I mean, the odds are quite close, so I don't know too much about this guy. But people are rating him very highly. But I'll still back my boy, Lerone Murphy. Come on, Lerone. Makayev, the future flyweight champion. The Habib of flyweight. He showed some holes in his last fight in his game. Holes in his game. But he'll win the fight. It doesn't matter how. He'll win it. Filio, I'm sorry. Everyone in the top 15 was scared of him, so he's taken on someone who the UFC assigned specifically to fight Muhammad. Hopefully he gets a top opponent next, because, I mean, how are we supposed to know this guy's level if he's not fighting the top competition? Like, Malcolm Gordon put on a great fight against him last time, taking on Jake Hadley, but Makayev's just different. Jack Shaw, I love a bit of Jack Shaw. He's making his featherweight debut. He's a heavy favourite. I mean, I think the odds are a bit unfair. Where are they? Minus 500. I think that's a bit unfair to Amir Khani. I do see Jack Shaw getting the job done by... I mean, Amir Khani gets finished quite a lot, doesn't he? Well, recently, KO, and decisions against Barboza, so he's only fought the best. Jonathan Pearce being his last one at UFC London. Coming off lost to Ricky Simone. So, it'd be great to see if he rebounds. He rebounds in style. Opening up the main card, we got Marvin, the Italian Dream, Vittori versus Roman Dolidze, former light heavyweight. Paul Craig in disguise, he's coming off the win to Jack Hermansson, but Vittori's coming off the win. The loss to Robert Whittaker, where, I mean, Roman Dolidze, he's a great wrestler, he's got power in his hand, but I just don't see a method of victory for him against Marvin Vittori. I think Marvin's got better striking, I think Marvin's got better wrestling. Jiu-Jitsu I'd have to give to Dolidze. Has Marvin ever been submitted? No, he's never been finished at all. And I think if some of these names haven't submitted Marvin, I mean, actually, to be fair, he might be one of the best. Hermansson's there, of course. The best, like, jiu-jitsu fighters he's ever faced. But I'd still back Vittori in this one. I mean, I'm not a fan of Vittori. I find him a bit cringe. But fair play, he's a good fighter, and hopefully this one's a banger. Gunnar Nelson, the man doesn't fight much these days, but he's fighting Brian Barberina, a man who's always game, always here, ready to put on a fight. He's ready to step in on 2 weeks' notice against Shavkat Rakhmonov, so he's not scared of a single man. Gunnar Nelson, he's a big favourite in this one. I think he gets the job done. We've seen Barberina has a bit of a grappling deficiency. I think Gunnar Nelson takes full advantage of that one, and I think he gets the finish in this one. Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev, lads. People are counting out Gaethje in this one. I mean, let's have a look at the odds here. Gaethje Fiziev, 225 favourite for Fiziev. I think that's a bit unjustified. I know Fiziev's good. I just think Gaethje, he's got the experience of the big fights. Fiziev, he got outboxed by Bobby Green, who's a great boxer. But let's be honest, if Gaethje and Bobby Green fought, Bobby Green would be in the ambulance. So I think Gaethje wins this one, either by late finish or decision. I think Fiziev has a great fight, but I think Gaethje's just got the quality in the striking. I know he's a former Muay Thai champion and stuff like that, but it's Justin Gaethje, lads. Come on, there's few people who could beat him on the feet. Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman, lads. I keep changing my mind about this one. At first I was like, yeah, Kamaru Usman, but then I'm like, does he have it in him? And that's where I'm kind of like, does Kamaru Usman have it in him to win the trilogy? I believe he's like a minus 200 favourite in this one, going back to the betting. 242.50. I don't know if Kamaru has it in him. Does he have the dog in him at this stage in his career? Does he really want it this bad? I don't think he does, and I think Leon wins a close decision. I think Leon does it. Because I just don't think Kamaru has it in him. I know I've said this already, but I don't think he's 36. He's got all these knee injuries. I don't think he wants it as much as Leon. And it's in England as well. I think Leon wants it more, and I think get the win. Anyway, boys and girls, thank you for watching. Enjoy the fights this weekend. Let me know your predictions down below, and have a good one, boys.